Hello sunshine, welcome to a little bit of soul. In today's episode I'm going to be sowing a few more seeds, and also I'm going to be giving you an update on how my Lisianthus are doing, and also on all my other stuff that I have going right now in my little greenhouse. Just wanted to give you a little tour of all the stuff that I'm just seeing now, that's popping up in spring. Here, right there, you see those little 3 clumps right there, that one right there. Those are some Alaskan daisies that I sowed last year, and they didn't bloom for me because they always bloom in the second year. So now they're starting to they stayed green pretty much all winter long, but I am starting to notice some new growth on them. I'm panning them right there, as you see. So that's super exciting. And then this is one of my David Austin roses, Lady of Shalott. I'm going to be pruning this one in the next little bit. I think I'm going to wait maybe a couple more weeks, just because we're supposed to be getting a few more temps in the low 20s. And I don't know, I just these roses are really precious to me, and I really don't want anything to happen to them. Just like so excited to see all this stuff come up and bloom for me. I sowed these last year. These are supposed to be like an apricot colored hyacinth, so I'm looking forward to that. And in this bed I have a lot of peachy colors, like peachy colored tones of daffodils, and I also have peach and like burgundy tone tulips. And so I decided to put some more peach tones here because I really like that color in my garden. And then here's the other David Austin rose that I have, and it's the same one. I'm going to be transplanting these two from this front of the flower bed, just because I think she's not getting enough sun, because she didn't really bloom that much for me last year. So I'm thinking it's because she wasn't getting enough sun, because I have a big tree in my front yard and it provides a lot of shade in my front yard. So I'm thinking that's why she didn't really bloom for me. I put some snowdrops that one of my coworkers gave me, and I'm looking forward to those because those will be my first time growing those as well. So I'm looking forward to those blooms. It's just so exciting to see all the new stuff coming up. I can't wait. I'm so excited for spring. All the stuff that I planted, this right here, I planted that last year and it bloomed for me and everything, and it just overwintered. This is a scabiosa, and it's that black one that I talked about in one of my earlier videos. This one overwintered really nice for me. So hopefully it'll continue to overwinter so that I can get blooms from these as well. And then these right here, I'm really happy because I see some new growth right there. So I was really wondering if this one was going to do good, but it is. So happy and excited that spring is almost here. Just thought I'd give you a little tour of what I've been seeing as the temperatures get warmer here in Michigan, Zone 6A. Let's get started with our video. All right, so the seeds that I'm going to be sowing today are woolly lamb's ear, and let me just put that right there so that you guys can see all the information. And then foxy foxglove. This one is an annual, but it self-seeds readily, and I'm all about that. And then feverfew white pom-pom. Alrighty, so the first one I'm gonna sow is going to be the woolly lamb's ear. And I'm going to be sowing 3 rows of these just because I want a lot of lamb's ear in my yard, because they do good in full sun, but they also do good in the shade. And I know these will spread naturally, and I'm hoping that happens because I really like these. These are really pretty. These are really pretty. It has like a bluish tint to them, and then when you touch them, it's really soft, kind of like a lamb's ear, and that's why it's called lamb's ear. Okay, so I'm going to put 2 per cell, just to ensure that I get at least 1 to germinate for me. This one is going to be new to me this year, so I'm hoping that I will get good germination on these. And I have luck, because if I do have luck, then I'll try them again next year. And this one says you need to start indoors 8 to 10 weeks before your last frost. I'm a little late on sowing these, to be honest, just because, you know, things happen and, you know, life sometimes gets in the way, but that's okay. I'm still in the window for me to sow these, just because my last frost day is not until end of May, and that puts me right around 8 to 10 weeks. But I don't know how fast these grow, so that's why I started them a little bit. I'm starting them now. And then this one says that it needs soil temperatures to be between 65 and 70 degrees, and you just sow on the surface and then just lightly press, kind of like what the other ones that I sowed as well, which I'll give you an update on those in a little bit. They are doing really good. I am super excited because all of my beginning patients came up, and I am thrilled about that. Okay. Supposedly this one came with 50, and I still have some for next year if I decide to do them again next year. Okay, and then the next one that I am going to be doing, which, guess what I just didn't do, you guys? I gotta make sure that I leave this tray like this, because you know what I did? I didn't label. The number one thing that you're supposed to do when you start seeds, you're supposed to label, and I didn't do that. As long as, oh, these are really big. These are tiny. Oh, goodness gracious. Yeah, these are really small. As long as I leave it like this, I think I'll be fine. All right. Definitely gonna be sowing more than I should. These are like a speck. But that's okay. And these need light to germinate, and they need about 70 to 75 degree temps. So this one is definitely gonna go in my germination tent chamber that I call. Hopefully the few of you are not that small, because these are tiny. So the Landseer is perennial in zones 4 through 7. It grows to be about 10 to 16 inches, and the germination on this one is going to be 21 to 35 days, which I think that's a long time. But we'll see what happens. I'm hoping I get something out of these. And then the Foxy Foxgloves. Oh, it says here you can direct sow these as well. Maybe I'll try that too. And then it just says sow lightly, and it grows to be about 36 inches. And like I said, this one is an annual foxglove. Okay, and then the last one that I'm going to be sowing right now is Feverfew. Okay, these are specks as well. What's up with just teeny tiny seeds? Alright, let's hope for the best for these. Alright, I will keep you guys posted on how these do. I'm hoping for the best. Wish me luck. Yay! Alright, so I just wanted to give you an update on my seedlings. As you can see, there's really no action on the penstemon, and I don't know if I want to reseed again. I know I said that I'll keep trying, but I'm just going to keep watering this one and hope for the best. I honestly had these seeds for like, this is gonna be the third year, I think. And so I don't know if that's the reason why I'm not getting anything. But yeah, I'm just no luck with those. And then my little experiment that I was doing with my dahlias, because I wanted to see if I can get them to pre-sprout. It's taken a minute, but as you can see right there, there's an eye right there, so that one is growing. And then there's a few in here that are growing, and then this one over here has a little shoot right there. So I'm thinking about maybe another week or so, this one should be a little bit taller, and I'll be able to get a sprout from that one. And then these right here, as you can see, I swear to you, I feel like, you know, I fertilized them yesterday, and I feel like they just grew overnight because they look way bigger than they did last night. But these are the Lisianthus that I did the regular method. You can see right there, I'll pan it right there in the back. Those are my lime green ones, and this is my Lisianthus pink. And then the Lisianthus yellows are in the back. And then right here are my misty blues. The misty blues look like they're a little bit stunted. I'm not really sure why, but you know, I'm still hopeful. At least I got 3 decent ones right there. That one right there, right there, right there. And then the other ones are still super small, but Lisianthus, you know, they have a mind of their own. As you can see over here, these are like super tall. Some of them are super tall, like this one right there and that one right there. And then some of them are still a little bit smaller. But they're still doing really good. The ones in the back right there, they're doing amazing actually. And then I'm gonna pan right here, and here is all of my onions. I had to reseed 2 of them, which one of them was the Spanish onions, and then the other ones I think was the white Spanish onions. Those did not really do good. And so this is one that a friend of mine right here, this one, he gave me these. This one's called Texas Early Grand. And so I just reseeded these, I think actually it was yesterday. And then this was my one and only straw flower that I did the Petri dish method. All the other seeds didn't germinate for me, and I think it's because they needed a cold period, and I didn't do that before. But at the same time, last year when I did my winter sow method, I did the same thing. In the winter sow, with winter sowing, you leave them outside and they basically stay outside the whole time. And I only got one variety to germinate for me, which was the same exact one that germinated for me now. And then these are all my snapdragons. I'm gonna have to thin them out pretty soon. I just gave them their first feeding yesterday, but they are doing really, really good. One thing I did notice about these was, it's just the weirdest thing right here. You see how all the leaves right here are the same, but then there's some, their leaf structure is a little different. I think it's the ones right there. Their leaf structures are a little bit different. So I'm just gonna leave them there and see what happens. See, this is what I mean about the leaf structure. That is just one little plant right there, but look at all the leaves it has. I've never seen a snapdragon do that before. See how these leaves look different too compared to these? It's just the strangest thing. I really don't know what it is, but I'm going, when I thin these out, I'm going to save these 3 in particular and see what happens, to see what kind of bloom I'm going to get. Another thing I do want to point out is they are looking a little bit leggy, and that's because there was one day that my timer didn't go off like it was supposed to, and so I didn't realize it until it was late in the day because I was working, and I came home and they were all stretching towards the sun because they're in my living room. They're in my living room next to the windows over here. See, right there. And so they were stretching to get the light, and that's why they look a little bit like. So I sowed these seeds a week after the label that I put there, which was on the 26th of February. And so I only got this one to germinate, and this one actually germinated around the 4th of March. And then this one is another snapdragon that I took because I'm going to be thinning some out and I'm going to be putting some in here. And so I took that one and put that snapdragon there. And then as I was like cleaning out these cells, I noticed that one started to pop out. So now I have two. This one actually popped out yesterday. And then these are all my carnations. As you can see, all of my carnation orange sherbets, all of them germinated. And then I only got one from the grenadine, the purple one. I only got one to germinate for me, so that's all I got. And as you can see, all of my beacon impatiens germinated for me. I had about 65 seeds that I had put in here, and then slowly some of them had germinated, but they didn't germinate fully. Some of the seed, the little seed head was still on top, and so they never germinated. But I still got about 54 of them to germinate for me completely, and they are doing really, really good. I gave them the first feeding yesterday, and one thing I did notice that they are cold sensitive. They do not like the cold at all, because, and the same thing happened with these that happened with the snapdragons. They were reaching for the light because my grow system, the lights didn't go off when they should have, and so they were also reaching for the sun, and so these got a little bit leggy. So I've been putting a fan on them just to strengthen the stems on them. And yesterday, after I gave them a feeding, I noticed that their leaves were drooping, and so I got really scared, because you know how I'm looking forward to these plants so that I can put them in the ground and I can enjoy them all summer long. So I was really scared that something was going on with them, and I thought maybe it was because of the feeding that I gave it. So I immediately flushed the roots, and by flushing the roots, what I basically did was I watered them more, so that not a lot of the fertilizer was in it, even though I did fertilize them at 1/4 strength of what I would normally fertilize my Lisianthus. But I thought it was because of that. But then I also thought that maybe it was because they got too cold, because literally their leaves were like drooping like this, and they did not look happy. They looked really sad. So I thought maybe it could also be that they were cold because the fan was blowing on them. So that's why I thought. So what I did also was I lowered them, because they were on my second shelf. So I lowered them to the third shelf so that they can get more heat from the vent that's right on top of the greenhouse. And that pretty much did the trick, and that pretty much gave me the indication that it was that they were cold. So I did get the Ranunculus to sprout for me, and this is what these are right here. This is an impatient that I tried to root in the soil, and it didn't happen. They didn't really like it, and pretty much all the leaves died from it. So I decided to put the Ranunculus in there, since I had the soil in there already. And then in the back right there, there's all my celery as well. Pretty much all of my all of them started sprouting at the beginning, the first week of March. And like I said, they're doing pretty good. And then in the bottom shelf is where I have the feverfew. And they're just getting the heat right now from there. So we'll see how that goes. See, that's where the feverfew and the foxglove and the lamb's ear is, just because they also need 70-75 degrees to germinate. And here are the other ranunculus that I did the pre-sprout with, where the corms were like super dry. I got, out of the 10 that I pre-sprouted, I got 5 of them to I would say germinate, I guess, sprout. And there's still a couple more in there, around in there, that haven't sprouted yet, but the corms don't feel mushy, and they don't look like they're molding or anything. So I'm just assuming they're going to be a little bit later. But yeah, see, as you can tell, there's some growth right there. There's some growth right there. There's some growth right there. And there's some growth right there. And like I said, there's a few more in there that might sprout or not. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and if you did, hit the like button. And if you got anything to say, comment down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Happy sowing! Bye!